up first is Mr. George Rodriguez, also known as the El Conservador, and he's going to be speaking about this city's Green New Deal, I believe.
Right.
I wanted to clarify a little bit about the situation with your bill, with our bill, our SAWS water bill, because the fact of the matter is that the SAWS water bill, the CPS bill, and even our transportation issues are all tied together. Let me tell you, let me connect the dots for you real quick. This whole issue, my friends, has to do with saving the Amazon, if you can believe it. It all has to do with climate change. For the past 10 years, these environmentalists, I will call them radical environmentalists, radical leftist environmentalists, have been infiltrating our city government. Actually, it's been longer than that. But they've been infiltrating the city government. They've been infiltrating the consultants that come in on a regular basis. I mean, these folks that came in from San Francisco, remember that? I mean, have you read about that? Came in from San Francisco to help address the issue of homelessness in San Antonio. I mean, you know, let's talk about the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
This situation, my friends, has to do with these bureaucrats, these government bureaucrats at City Hall and at the county, trying to save walruses and the oceans and everything else. And in order to do that, they need money. There is such a thing as the environmentalist industry. And these folks live off of making dire predictions and making a living off of being consultants on how to save the world. And in the process, my friends, it costs you money. It costs us money. This whole situation with the SAWS bill also has to do with the redistribution of wealth. They have an 8-tier billing system. And let me explain to you what that means. That means that folks that live on one section, they admitted it, folks that live on one side of town pay more than folks that live on another side of town. And you figure out how that is. Instead of everybody paying the same amount, which would be fair, because these people are for fairness, you know, they want to redistribute the wealth. Let me tell you, folks, we need a desperate change at City Hall. But it's not going to happen if only 11% of us show up to vote. I mean, remember how many folks showed up to vote at the last election, the last municipal election? 11%, and we lost. So that means that less than half of the 11% were folks of our like-mindedness. We lost. What we need, my friends, is to address these issues. The other thing we need to do, obviously, is to educate our folks. This whole idea of redistribution of wealth, that, along with the environmentalism, has really taken over at City Hall. We subsidize everything for everybody else, but somehow that money never reaches the poor. Notice again, my friends, that we have what is called a poverty industry. And that poverty industry feeds itself. Wouldn't it be simpler for me to give to the poor directly? Father, wouldn't it be better for my soul if I gave directly to the poor rather than me giving, not willingly, I will admit it, me giving my taxes to the government and then the bureaucrats giving it to the poor after they've taken a cut. Okay? After they've taken a cut. You know? The fact of the matter is, my friends, that this poverty industry that we've got at City Hall, it's going to ruin us. It's going to ruin us. We need, my friends, we need to educate our folks. So that takes me to the last part of my presentation that I want to give you. We have a local fake media. Okay? A local fake media. Where's Mr. Chasnoff? Is he here today?
Miro.
No. Or Miss Ayala, is she here today? You know? Miss Ayala, Elaine Ayala from the San Antonio Express on Wednesday, proclaimed in a great banner and a great, what you call it, opinion piece, opinion report. Because I didn't know that news reports could be opinionated, but obviously they can be. So Elaine writes about how the city of San Antonio is going to give a $200,000 grant. It's only money, what the heck, to a Chicano History Institute. Okay? And this Chicano Institute is going to be influenced by folks like Jose Angel Gutierrez and Mario Compian and all these radical leftists that I knew when I was younger. I mean, radical. These folks are not pro-America. They're not pro-First Amendment. They're not pro the Constitution. Okay? And they certainly aren't pro-white folks. Okay? Remember the famous comment by Jose Angel Gutierrez about killing gringos? Remember that? And these are the folks that are going to, these are the folks that are getting our tax money. These are the folks that are getting our tax money. And the San Antonio Express talks about it like no problem at all. What we need, my friends, if we're going to overcome, if we're going to educate our folks to vote right about the issues, we need to inform them. And the way to inform them is to go around and create alternative sources of information. I won't be shy. I have a blog. I share my information with folks. I reinterpret, because that's what needs to happen. I reinterpret the news. Elaine Ayala or Brian Chesnoff say this, I explain to you what they really are talking about. And the reason that we need to do that, my friends, is so we can educate our folks. Because unless we educate our folks, unless we educate the grassroots, it sounds great that we should be sharing our wealth with the poor. Who's going to argue with that? Until you realize that the poor aren't getting anything. I mean, really, the poor are getting poorer.
Yes.
I mean, that's the fact. The poor are getting poorer, not to mention that they're multiplying. I mean, really. So what is the industry doing? Now, they're going to be paying more. People that can't afford it are going to be paying more water bills just because they live on the wrong side of town. Just because they live on the wrong side of town. Now, where is the fairness? Same thing, my friends. You know, I was talking to, and I can't remember, maybe Terry can tell me, the young lady that is in charge of the government, of the county government's transportation program. I was talking to her, and she admitted that the best idea, that the goal would be for all of us to live downtown, not have cars, and not own property. Renee Green. Not own property. Why? Because, well, you know, we should leave nature alone. Why not have private transportation? Transportation independence. Why not have that? Well, because we pollute the air. You know? And why downtown? Well, because then everything is convenient. You know what I call that? A gulag. That's what I call that. I'm sorry, I am a Texan. I want my property. I want my freedom to drive, to move, to be wherever, or go wherever I want. Independence, freedom of mobility. What's wrong with that? You know? So my friends, what we need to do is we need to fight this whole idea of this poverty industry mentality that's downtown, which says that we need to redistribute our wealth, and in reality, they're the only ones that are getting it.
That's right.
Secondly, we need alternative methods of informing ourselves. I'm on KLUP, 9:30 a.m. radio. Listen to me, support me. I do my blog, support me. There's lots of us that are starting to write and share information. We need to support each other, my friends. We need to inform each other. Any questions?
Your blog information and...
My blog is elconservador.net. I am on Facebook as well, El Conservador, George Rodriguez.
What dial on the
Dial on the radio, KLUP, 9:30 a.m. I'll be on at 2 o'clock today.
What's the station number?
KLUP,
Oh, it's
9:30. 9:30. No, I'm on at 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
2 o'clock on 9:30 a.m. radio. Okay? Thank you very, very much.
Well, George tells it like it is.